Man in the back row with the beard and the glasses. Yeah.
I think we've already had our version of Trump several Tory governments ago, and he's now away. But it's very easy to win a popularity contest saying you're going to fix all the problems and everything's terrible. Doing it's another thing.
Angus Robertson.
So I agree with Karen. We have populism here. We have Nigel Farage here. Now in opinion polls overtaking the Conservative Party, snapping in the heels on the Labour Party in England. By-election Bannockburn last week that the SNP won. The Labour Party was only 100 votes ahead of Farage's party. Now this should worry all of us who care about mainstream politics, because I don't think there is any place for that kind of populist extremism in our country. We could talk about being anti-European, we could talk about the demonisation of people who have come from other countries, we can talk about being in favour of the privatisation of the National Health Service. I do not support that, I do not want that here, and I think the majority of people in Scotland don't want that. But we are going to have to vote for mainstream parties that reject that kind of politics. In terms of, do we have to take the United States seriously with President Trump as their head of state? Of course we do.
You'll be off to Tartan Week in April in New York. You might well have to deal with him.
As it happens, I'm not going this year, but I'm about to. I am going to make the point.
Because of him?
But no, not at all. But I am making the point that it does matter that we have as good relations as we can with the United States as possible. That's not the same thing as you agree with Donald Trump, his politics and how he does it. We face the prospect. The gentleman asked the question about we should have people with a business background in politics. I totally agree. But we shouldn't be getting into trade wars, and we shouldn't be facing the prospect of massive tariffs against whiskey, against salmon exports, against Kashmir, etc., etc., etc. And we fear that we may face that from the United States. So we have to persuade everybody, even those we may not agree with in the US, that tariffs are not the way to sort out our relations. We shouldn't have Pied Pipers in Scottish or British politics, but when it comes to Donald Trump as the President of the United States, we are going to have to work as well as we can with an administration that has been elected by voters in that country.
Okay, thank you. Lady on the